calm down. We still got Diana Taurasi. We still got Asia Wilson. So if y'all gonna give her props, make sure our girls that are dominating in this league get the same props. That's what everybody's talking about.
A few moments later.
Congratulations to her. She's a fabulous player.
Basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal has finally spoken out about Caitlyn Clark, a rising star in the basketball world, after her groundbreaking achievement of being named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year for 2024. The announcement of this honor quickly made headlines across the sports world, and even outside of it. The story was so big that it caught the attention of not only sports outlets but also political commentators. For a while, Shaq, known for his outspoken opinions, stayed quiet on the matter, which was surprising given his usual tendency to speak his mind. However, Shaq recently shared his thoughts on this historic moment in basketball. To understand Shaq's perspective, let's take a step back. After wrapping up one of the most successful careers in NBA history, Shaquille O'Neal transitioned into a role in sports media. In this phase of his career, Shaq became famous for his blunt opinions and sharp criticism, often taking shots at current players. He has admitted to sometimes being a self-proclaimed hater, and Caitlyn Clark was no exception. Early in her career, Shaq expressed doubts about the young star who was quickly becoming a big name in basketball. Part of this skepticism might have been linked to his close relationship with Angel Reese, another rising WNBA star. Angel Reese, a major rival of Caitlyn Clark from their college days, is now a key player for the Chicago Sky. The rivalry between Clark and Reese has added a layer of drama to women's basketball, making it even more interesting to fans. Shaquille O'Neal, who has mentored Reese, found it hard to fully embrace Caitlyn Clark's rise to fame because of his strong support for Angel Reese. Shaq has always spoken highly of Reese, calling her the WNBA's next big superstar, which made it natural for him to remain silent during Clark's historic rookie season. While Clark was dominating and breaking records, Shaq continued to focus on supporting Reese's career. However, Caitlyn Clark's rise became too big to ignore. She shattered records, made jaw-dropping plays, and single-handedly turned her team into a powerhouse. Her impact on the game reached new heights, and when she was named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, it was a monumental achievement. This recognition led Shaq to finally break his silence and share his thoughts.
Congratulations
in an
to
interview
her.
with TMZ, Shaq
player.
began by offering congratulations to Caitlyn Clark, calling her a fabulous player. He acknowledged her incredible accomplishments in a straightforward manner. But then Shaq made a remark that subtly hinted at his bias toward Angel Reese. "Caitlyn, my girl, Angel definitely brought a lot of publicity to the WNBA," he said. By referring to Reese as my girl,
Caitlyn, my girl Angel, definitely brought a lot of publicity to the WNBA.
Shaq made it clear where his loyalties lie. He implied that the increased publicity around the WNBA was driven by both Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese, although the reality is different. The truth is, Caitlyn Clark is the primary force behind the growing popularity of the WNBA. Ticket sales for games featuring Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, far exceed those for Angel Reese's team, the Chicago Sky. Caitlyn Clark has done more than any other player to elevate the profile of the WNBA, while Angel Reese benefits from the attention Clark has brought to the league. Despite this, Shaq seemed to downplay Clark's individual success by suggesting that the rise of the WNBA should be credited to both players equally. Shaq didn't stop there. He continued to suggest that the spotlight on Caitlyn Clark was unfairly taking attention away from other WNBA stars. Some people, including Shaq, became defensive about Clark being named Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, claiming that other players deserved recognition too. However, there weren't many other.
But we can't forget all the other WNBA greats, Asia, Sabrina, Teresi, all the women that's playing great. They're finally getting the credit that they deserve.
Athletes who had a year like Caitlyn Clark. No one else had such a big cultural impact or transformed the sports world in the same way. Clark's success has not overshadowed other players, rather, it has brought more attention to the WNBA and helped more people learn about its talented athletes. Even Shaq acknowledged this when he mentioned that more WNBA players were finally getting the recognition they deserved. However, his statement seemed contradictory because it implied that Caitlyn Clark was somehow taking the spotlight away from others, which isn't the case. In reality, Clark's success is helping to elevate everyone in the league. Her achievements are attracting more fans to women's basketball, which benefits all players. Caitlyn Clark herself has made an effort to shine a light on other women in the sport. During her acceptance of the Time magazine honor, she took the opportunity to highlight the achievements of other WNBA players, particularly black players, and praised the history of women's basketball. She didn't have to do that, but she chose to. This move showed her humility and leadership. By giving credit to others, Clark demonstrated that her success wasn't just about her, it was about lifting up the whole league. The idea that Caitlyn Clark's rise hurts the WNBA or takes attention away from other players is far from the truth. The WNBA is fortunate to have her as one of its stars. Shaq, however, seemed to have a different viewpoint. In a surprising twist, he compared the WNBA to the men's game, claiming that women's players are better than men's players. Although his intent might have been
much harder than the men, play better than the men. That's a beautiful game to watch.
To support the WNBA, this comment only added more confusion to an already complex discussion. Shaquille O'Neal's comments about Caitlyn Clark reflect his strong support for Angel Reese, but they also show a lack of understanding about the true impact of Clark's success. Rather than overshadowing other players, Clark's achievements have helped bring more attention to women's basketball as a whole, benefiting everyone involved. Shaquille O'Neal's recent comments have raised eyebrows, especially given his history as a former NBA legend known for his appreciation of the physicality and athleticism of basketball. His statement comparing the men's and women's games is surprising because it's rare to hear someone make such a bold comparison. Traditionally, men's basketball has been more popular in terms of viewership and entertainment. But could Caitlyn Clark's brilliance have been so powerful that it has completely
I stirred some controversy, but it wasn't really controversy. I am a revenue-driven person.
Changed Shaq's view on the two leagues? Or, could Shaq have made these comments just to stir up controversy? In other parts of the interview, Shaq admitted that he enjoys causing a little drama, which is something he's known for in the basketball world. He's great at getting attention, and nothing grabs more attention than a controversial opinion. Saying,
when you watch women's volleyball, beach volleyball, and men's beach volleyball, the net is lowered, not a significant amount, but just a little bit. So if you lower the rim a little bit to where the ladies can dunk, then our games would be similar. Make much more money for them, and then they could start getting the salaries that they deserve. Because the salaries they're getting now are just terrible. Like, you got these NIL students going for $6 and $7, $8 million, and Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese only making hundreds of thousands.
The WNBA is more fun to watch than the NBA is definitely a controversial statement. It's hard to believe that Shaq truly thinks this, especially since in the same interview, he offered ways to improve the WNBA's appeal. One of his ideas was to lower the basketball rim to allow WNBA players to perform more like NBA players. The suggestion to lower the rim actually benefits Angel Reese more than Caitlyn Clark. Reese tends to play closer to the basket, where she scores using short-range shots. However, she sometimes struggles to make even simple layups. A lower rim would make it easier for Reese to score. On the other hand, Caitlyn Clark is known for her long-range shooting. She often hits shots from distances that even NBA players might hesitate to attempt. The WNBA's three-point line is already shorter than the NBA's, but Clark frequently shoots from well beyond it. She doesn't need any changes to her game to be dominant. This difference raises the question of whether Shaq's suggestion was more about helping Reese than improving the league as a whole. Shaq is known for making bold statements that stir up controversy, and he's done it before. He has appeared on Angel Reese's podcast, where he didn't shy away from praising Caitlyn Clark, even in front of Reese. This could have been uncomfortable for Reese, since Clark is her biggest rival, but it's rare for Shaq to openly praise a WNBA player, especially on a platform that supports Reese. During the podcast, Shaq compared Caitlyn Clark's dominance to Steph Curry's, pointing out how both players have changed the way their leagues are viewed.
Why do you think people love Caitlyn Clark, besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point. Steph Curry, a little kid. Like, Steph Curry, I love, you know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit. and Mahmoud Abdul. But I've never seen a guy consistently come down. And if you look at, like, if you saw Steph on the street, he ain't got the LeBron muscles. He's not 6'9", he's 6'10". He look like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
But he's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen nobody do that on a consistent basis.
Shaq highlighted that, like Curry, Clark has brought a new level of excitement and innovation to her game, which has driven interest and success for the WNBA. Shaq's comments also provided some interesting insights. He acknowledged that Caitlyn Clark is doing things no other WNBA player has ever done. Even Angel Reese agreed, but her response seemed dismissive. She said something like, "She can shoot threes from the logo," which may sound like she's downplaying Clark's skills. But in reality, shooting from that distance is an amazing talent that takes a lot of practice and hard work. Shaq knows that Clark's ability to make these long-range shots is attracting new fans to WNBA games, something that Reese, despite her own talent, can't quite replicate. Reese's response may have even shown some jealousy, as her game isn't focused on long-range shooting like Clark's. Shaq's comments made it clear that Caitlyn Clark is one of the main reasons for the WNBA's growing popularity. Interestingly, Shaq's praise for Caitlyn Clark on Angel Reese's podcast wasn't the most high-level compliment he's given her. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Shaq openly praised Clark's greatness. This interview happened around the time of a game between Clark's Indiana Fever and Reese's Chicago Sky, a game Shaq attended, likely to support Reese. However, what happened during the game seemed to change his opinion. Caitlyn Clark recently had an amazing game where she scored a career-high 31 points, including 5 three-pointers, and Chicago just couldn't stop her. Her performance wasn't just about boosting her stats, it was all about efficiency. She attempted only 14 field goals and made 8 of them, which gave her an impressive 57% shooting percentage. Clark's ability to hit long shots while being so efficient is truly remarkable. But her dominance didn't stop with scoring. She also helped her teammates by making 12 assists, completely breaking down Chicago's defense. This game marked her 5th game of the season with more than 20 points and 10 assists, setting a new WNBA record for a single season. And she did it all as a rookie. It's no surprise that Shaquille O'Neal couldn't stay quiet about her performance, even though he's been a big supporter of Angel Reese. Caitlyn Clark's historic night was a reminder of why she's becoming one of the best players in the league, and why her rise is impossible to ignore. In an interview, Shaq said, "Clark does everything right." He went on to explain, "I never spoke about her before because Angel Reese is my girl, but I can truthfully say Caitlyn Clark is for real." Shaq admitted that even though he tried to be upset with Caitlyn Clark, he couldn't because she kept making the right plays, passing the ball well, and staying tough despite physical play. Shaq also pointed out that the rivalry between Reese and Clark is real, and Reese is currently on the losing end of it. What stood out about Shaq's comments was his honesty. It's rare for a media figure to admit they've been trying to dislike a player, especially one as important to the WNBA as Caitlyn Clark. It's almost funny that it took Shaq this long to publicly recognize Clark's talent, especially when fans and analysts have already seen her as the league's next big star. Anyone who watches Caitlyn Clark play can see why she's so special. She consistently makes the right play, delivers perfect passes, and has a deep understanding of the game. Shaq seemed especially impressed by her toughness. Despite facing extra physical challenges and rookie hazing from WNBA defenders, Clark stays calm, plays with mental strength, and never complains. She lets her game do the talking. Shaq couldn't help but praise her resilience and professionalism, which only adds to her growing legacy. He said, "She's the real deal. Much respect to her and her family for raising her right." Shaq's praise for Caitlyn Clark isn't just about her basketball skills. He clearly admires her as a person. In fact, Shaq even complimented Clark's family for raising her well, which is a rare and meaningful statement from someone like him. This goes beyond typical admiration. It shows a deeper acknowledgement of who Caitlyn Clark is and what she represents. Shaq also sent a heartfelt message to young girls looking for role models, saying they should look to Caitlyn Clark. Of course, Shaq still mentioned Angel Reese, who is his personal favorite, but there's a clear contrast between the two players. While both Reese and Clark have their strengths, Caitlyn Clark stands out as a truly exceptional role model for young athletes. The fact that Shaq, who has supported Angel Reese so strongly, has now become a genuine fan of Caitlyn Clark speaks volumes about her greatness. It's no easy task to win over someone as opinionated as Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal's recent comments about Caitlyn Clark's recognition as Time magazine's Athlete of the Year reflect a mix of admiration, personal bias, and the power of sports to spark conversations. While Shaq's loyalty to Angel Reese remains strong, his acknowledgement of Caitlyn Clark's impact shows how transformative her presence has been, not just for women's basketball, but for the entire sports world. Caitlyn Clark's rise to WNBA stardom hasn't just changed the league, it's also earned her respect from even the harshest critics in basketball media. Shaq's remarks during her rookie season are a testament to the fact that true greatness can transcend rivalries. Shaq has emphasized that Caitlyn Clark's extraordinary talent and character make her the perfect role model for young women and athletes everywhere. This is why she has always deserved the title of Time magazine's Athlete of the Year, over any other player in the WNBA or in any other sport. Her impact goes beyond basketball, lifting the WNBA and inspiring the next generation of players. Her influence resonates with fans of all backgrounds, proving that her story is no longer just about her or one rivalry. It's about the collective growth of women's sports and their place in the larger sports world. As Caitlyn Clark's journey continues, it's only a matter of time before more sports icons, including those as influential as Shaquille O'Neal, fully embrace her impact. With the direction she's heading, even her harshest critics may soon become her biggest supporters. Caitlyn Clark has become a powerful force in sports, not just because of her skills, but because of the positive change she's bringing to women's basketball and sports in general. Her ability to stay calm, work hard, and be a role model for young athletes sets her apart. Shaquille O'Neal's acknowledgement of her greatness is proof that her influence